So we're browsing the Halloween candy here at Food Line. And of course the Bigfoot expedition is on our mind. We even came up with a name for it. It's going to be called Expedition Slalakum. And more to come on that. But it's a well-known fact, or at least a theory that we've come across, that supposedly, I don't know how true this is, but supposedly Bigfoot likes Kit Kat bars. Well, here at Food Line, in the Halloween candy, they have glow-in-the-dark Kit Kat bars. I'm not sure. I think it's just the wrapper that glows in the dark.
Yeah.
But still, if you don't open it and you put this out in the woods, perhaps it would be easier for Bigfoot to see. So I'm thinking this might be something that we need on our Bigfoot expedition.
Do you think that he likes them enough to recognize the logo? If the logo is glowing on the outside of the wrapper?
You know, I'm not 100% sure as far as the extent of Bigfoot's intelligence, but I do believe he could probably smell these through the wrapper. And if he doesn't have a strong enough of a smell, he would probably notice, if we put a couple of them out around the camp, he would probably notice these strange glowing things, and it might pique his curiosity. So I definitely think it's something we should try.
You're about to open a window into the life of a ghost hunter. We'll show you dark, creepy roads that fade into the night. We'll show you haunted places, but most importantly, we'll show you what happens along the way there.
So we're here in Yorktown at the Wawa, and according to Linda, tonight is the grand reopening of this Wawa that's been under renovation for some time.
Yes.
And we decided to stop in and get some coffee on our way up to Kilmarnock. We have quite a weekend ahead of us.
Yeah.
We're going up to Kilmarnock for an investigation tonight. There's some subtle activity, and we'll talk more about that as we go along, and hopefully we'll be able to run some video there. But then tomorrow night, we're going out to a place in Matthews.
Yes.
And we're going to spend the entire night out there at this location. We're going to set up our base station outside of the house and run teams in throughout, and it's going to be an interesting investigation, I venture to say.
Right. We may even take turns trying to sleep inside the house by ourselves.
Right. Perhaps set up some bait. Not really bait, but...
Yeah, human bait. Yeah. Ghost bait.
Perhaps.
Right.
Ghost bait. That sounds like a show.
It is.
Let's check out this coffee. Oh, it looks like we came on the right night. Any size coffee free.
Right. Yeah.
And we don't even have to buy anything for that?
Nope.
That's something.
No, because it's their grand reopening.
That fits my budget, actually.
It does. It does fit the budget.
So quite some serious renovations done on this Wawa, I must say. I mean, it looks like a completely different place, does it not?
It does. It definitely looks like a different place. It looks like some of the newer Wawas that we've walked into. Kind of the use of like wood grain and everything, you know, I really kind of like it. Sort of a little more earthy element to it, you know. Pretty cool overall.
It kind of reminds me of the one up in Kennett Square.
Right.
But they recently renovated that one. You remember? A while back it was closed every time we went past it.
Yeah,
and then it was opened and
look like.
it looks like this. We were in it since it's been renovated.
Piping hot.
Piping hot, I venture to say.
Very much so.
I don't see the pumpkin spice out yet though. Hopefully.
That's brewing.
Oh, that's brewing. All right. Oh, there it is back there. Look at that.
Yep.
Oh man.
Might have to wait for that.
Might have to wait on that. So we're almost here, out to Kilmarnock, and I gotta say, I really do like the drive out to here because it's all these back roads. It really doesn't take us on any highway. It takes us out through Gloucester.
Right.
A lot of dark, creepy roads, which we always like.
Yes. It is very nice out here. little kind of old farmhouses and little historic buildings and stuff, and just kind of a quaint little town through here. Very nice.
It really is. And I gotta say about the Wawa, you know, it's very nice inside. I like the upgrades. One thing that hasn't changed is the coffee. It's still good. I'd still say probably in the top 5 of favorite coafies. The pumpkin spice was going to take about 10 minutes to brew.
Yeah,
so
that was a little
didn't
too
wait
long
on
to
that.
wait for.
Yep.
Yeah, and it tastes even better since it's free.
It does.
Yeah.
Free coffee, for some reason it tastes better than coffee that you pay for. I don't know why. But I have yet, and I got to say with the pumpkin spice, I have yet to get the actual pumpkin spice brewed coffee. And that's the kind I like. You know, I've had the pumpkin spice creamers.
Right.
But I like the coffee that you can drink black and it still tastes like a hint of pumpkin spice.
Yeah.
So,
you got to pick some up this fall.
Yeah, so this weekend, one of my goals is to get some actual pumpkin spice coffee.
Yeah. Well, we are coming up tomorrow night up into Matthews County, which is in the same direction. We'll pass the same Wawa again. So maybe we can stop at the same Wawa and see if they actually have the brewed pumpkin spice coffee tomorrow.
And it's free all weekend.
Right.
Okay, so we're doing our initial walkthrough here, baseline sweep, and
Yeah.
Linda doesn't know anything about the reports here. So
No, nothing at all. I wasn't even sure of the clients' names when I first came in here.
maybe walk through the entire place.
Yeah,
To see if there's
I
any
will.
place that certainly draws you. While she's doing that, I'll be running the mel meter here, monitoring the temperature and the EMF fields.
I love this. This is beautiful.
That's nice, isn't it?
Yeah. And I love the big open floor plan. So, kind of new to this feeling thing, but I guess the strangest energy in the house is in the master bathroom. When I walk in there, it's like a completely different feeling than it is the rest of the house. It's a little bit like that in here as well, in the master bedroom. But most of the other rooms, it feels pretty good. But I do feel that whatever this thing is, it goes into the son's room and maybe watches him while he sleeps. Or looks at him. Doesn't touch him, I don't think, but just at least looks at him or watches him for some reason. But there's a little bit of movement here between this room and the son's bedroom, it seems. Like I say, out in the main part of the house, there wasn't really any strange feeling. Now, part of that could be the fact that it's such a big open area that, like anything else, like air or anything, it's going to disperse in such a large area. So I might not be feeling that concentrated energy out there. But like I say, the bathroom is kind of a weird feeling in the bathroom.
What kind of a feeling would you say?
I don't know. When I walk in there, I get that heavy feeling. As soon as I cross the threshold, it's like that. A little bit of pressure on the chest, a dizzy feeling. I get the real dizzy feeling in my head. Not quite as bad as I felt it in some places. I would have to say, compared to some of these other places, it's not a very strong spirit. It's not one of those that's like, like a lot of built up anger or built up energy. It's just sort of a mild presence, but it is definitely in here a lot. I don't know whether she's looked in the mirror and seen somebody or has felt something walk up behind her when she's been standing here looking in the mirror. But the energy, I still feel it a little bit when I get out here. Still kind of have that little bit of heaviness, but it's not as much as the bathroom. And then in the son's room, there's, like I say, there's kind of this movement through here. I don't know whether this is a path that it might move on through the house on a regular basis. But yeah, just a little bit of the same energy in here, I would say. Could be totally wrong, I don't know, but that's where it feels different.
Really, there are low EMF levels throughout the entire house. It's significant, of course, to point out that the electric box is over here on the wall, and that, of course, is going to give us off a significant reading. Now, with what Linda said, it's interesting because this is where the client identified the hot spot to be. She said the master bedroom and the master bathroom. Hasn't seen any apparitions, but has this very uneasy feeling of being watched. Now, what's interesting though is Linda mentioned that she feels that it goes into the son's room and watches him while he sleeps. He's been having a lot of nightmares lately to the point where they're thinking about taking him to a counselor. Could this, whatever it is, actually be traveling this path, watching him while he sleeps and interfering with his dreams somehow? I don't know, it's a possibility.
Wow, okay.
With the electric box being right here in this room, where she gets the uneasy feeling, of course, it is a theory that spirits do feed off electromagnetic fields. If that's the case, then that would make sense.
Right.
But my question would also be, could this be causing certain sensations with the impact that the EMF levels would have on people?
Right.
All right, so I'm going to power up for a spirit box session here in the master bedroom. I'm Jeff, and I'd like to know if there's anybody else here with me right now. If there is, could you please tell me your name? The people who live in this house, they're interested in knowing if you have some kind of a message for them. Are you okay with the residents living here? We do have this little device down here on the floor, and if you come near it, it's just a sensor. It may let us know that you're here. Could you come near that device for us?
I'm not sure what questions you've already asked, but did you used to live on this land? Was this land yours?
Is there a reason that you're drawn to this house? Is there a reason that you're here?
Are you the one giving the son nightmares? Or do you know why Aiden is having nightmares?
So we're talking briefly. Linda is inclined to believe that whatever this entity is went out towards the shed.
Right.
Why do you say that?
Well, when I was sitting in the car and Jeff had come into the house and he was talking to the clients, and I could see the porch light. The light from the porch was cutting across the driveway by the cars. And as I was sitting there, there was a shadow that kind of blocked out the light for a moment. And it almost seemed like the shadow had moved toward the right-hand side, to my right, as I was sitting in the car. And what's out there is a shed, and sort of behind the shed is a little patch of woods. And as I'm sitting there talking to my daughter on the telephone, I told her, I said, a shadow, something just moved out there. And after that, I started getting this feeling like something was watching me from the shed, from back in that area. It could have been from back in the woods, but it might have very well have been the shed. Plus, you combine that with the fact that so many places where we go to, it seems like maybe there was something here, but now it's not. Like, we feel the residual energy of this thing, but it doesn't sometimes want to communicate, and it seems like maybe it leaves the house while we're here. So
That does seem to happen a lot. So
does.
I guess we should go outside, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Take a look around the shed.
Right.
Maybe do a rolling spirit box session out there.
Yeah.
Roll the spirit box while we're walking around, see if anything interesting comes through. But my question is, when we go outside, do you think it will come back inside?
It very well could.
So do you think one of us should go outside and explore the woods in the shed while the other stays in here?
Perhaps.
All right. I guess I'll go get the light.
Okay.
All right. So what I'm going to do initially is I'm walking around out here. The shed is over this way. And this place is surrounded by woods. So I'm just going to stand for a minute and listen to the sounds that are out here. See if there's any unnatural sounds that don't sound like they're consistent with the typical night sounds of nature. Is there anybody out here with me? I think that was a giant bug that just flew into the shed. Can you tell me why you're on this land? Is there something that you want from this family? Is there something that you'd like them to know? Is there a reason that you left this house when we came in? Who was that Linda saw leaving the house? Was that you? Are you afraid of us? We just got a spike on here on the millimeter, and on my baseline sweep I didn't have any spikes. I'm gonna try setting that down and picking it up again. There is a spike right here, so it is a steady spike. But I would really like to know the source. And there are certain minerals that can hold a charge. Now it's gone. One thing I don't like about running that spirit box out here is I can't hear anything that's going on in the woods. And I'm pretty sure that what I'm hearing out there is a possum. There it goes. All right. Hey, buddy. Where you going? Not sure if you saw him on the camera, but I heard something out there, and sure enough, it was just a little possum crawling through the woods. But what I was saying is, one thing that I don't like about running the spirit box out here is that I can't hear the natural sounds out in the woods. So if something is coming through it or moving about, I can't hear it because of that speaker. But it seems like during the course of the time running the spirit box session out here, most of it was radio chatter.
So when I was inside here and Jeff went outside, I ran an EVP session. I asked quite a few questions. I started to kind of hear noises inside and around the room. One of them, the first one that I heard, kind of startled me because it sounded like a breath. And I had been hearing subtle noises coming from my stomach because I'm a little hungry. But this was so much different than that. It was almost like a breathing sound, almost a little raspy. But I looked down at the equipment because it sounded like it came from right here on the bed. So, and it wasn't extremely loud. So I don't know if the recorder picked it up. I would think that it would. But it was, I almost thought that maybe somehow the recorder had gone into a play mode and was playing back something and I just heard a clip of it. But it wasn't. It was still recording. So I'm not exactly sure what that sound was. But then as I'm asking questions, I could hear something over in this corner here. Just a light tap or a little noise over here. And then right before Jeff came in, there was a noise that sounded like it came out of the bathroom. You weren't in the bathroom, were you?
No.
The one that adjoins here, this wall?
No, but one thing I did notice is the floorboards. There are certain times where we walk in certain places and it'll sound like there's a step outside.
Well, perhaps it was
So
something...
it might have been when I was walking up the hallway.
Yeah, I was
creaked in the
perhaps
bathroom.
you coming up the hallway or something made it, because it was like a significant noise over there in that bathroom.
That could be.
But it very well could have been a floorboard.
Yeah, we'll have to test that. Let me just walk
Up
down
the hallway.
I'll close this door and tell me if you hear it.
Okay. There was a little noise, but I don't think it was the same thing because I could hear your footsteps this time. I couldn't hear you coming down the hall last time.
The only thing is maybe we're anticipating it. I was probably walking a little heavier, but I do notice when I step right here, from where I'm standing in the hallway right here,
you can hear something.
I can hear it in the bathroom. I can hear like a creak in the bathroom.
Yeah.
So
probably,
maybe with you not anticipating it, me walking down the hallway. Now the other thing I would wonder is I'd have to look for the vents because I noticed the air's been coming on and going off.
They're up in the ceiling up here.
There's one up there.
Yeah.
And then there's another one in the bathroom.
Right.
Right around back here.
Okay.
Do you think any of those could be responsible for that breath sound that you were hearing?
No, because the air hadn't come on.
What about now when the air? Okay, so that the air hadn't come on when you heard the breath sounds?
No, it was like you could hear a pin drop in this room. It was so quiet. The air hadn't kicked on yet, but the air did kick on a few moments later, so I heard that noise, and I heard what that sounded like.
And just to rule it out, it definitely wasn't like your phone vibrating with some kind of a notification or something like that?
No, and it wasn't any kind of sound that I've ever heard come from a phone by any means.
The only other thing I have is about the corner, whether the AC was on or not.
Right.
I mean, if it was off, then the vents were probably expanding a little bit, which could have caused some noises through the wall. If it was on, then they might have been contracting,
right,
which would have caused some noises throughout the wall. Do you think it could have sounded anything like that?
It could have been. I'm a little turned around. There's a window over here.
Yeah, and there's a window over here.
Were you outside this window ever at all? Did you walk around the outside of the house?
No, I was over this side of the house.
Okay, so I couldn't have heard you talking.
Well, could you have heard the spirit box? Could it have?
I don't know. It was just for a moment.
No, because I was around the spirit box the whole time.
Right. This was only for a moment. It was almost like somebody walked past the window and was mumbling or something, and I could hear it.
Yeah.
That was after the breathy noise that I heard.
Now, see, I was on the opposite side of the house.
Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking, but I didn't know if you walked around the outside.
Let's try one more spirit box session.
Okay.
Over in the son's room.
All right.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Linda.
And we'd like to know if there's anybody here with us. If there is, could you please tell us your name?
There.
When is the last time before now that you were in this room?
Do you come in and watch Aiden when he sleeps? If so, why?
Can you move that for me? See if you can roll me the ball. Look, just a light tap. I'll push it to you. You push it back. Now push it back. You don't have to be afraid. I'm almost wondering if you are here and you're just a little curious. Maybe you're just observing the people that live here. Could that be the case? We're willing to listen to you. But you have to be willing to talk to us if you can. Push the ball to me. Just give it a little tap. What if the ball came like
That's kind of what I was envisioning
Like
when you
somebody
first
just
started
kicked it
that.
at me. Like,
Yeah, that's
that'd be crazy,
exactly.
wouldn't it?
Yeah, you and I think alike.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I could see happening in my head.
So we wandered down here to 7-Eleven, and really there weren't many options. The 7-Eleven up there near Kilmarnock, it was closed 12 to 4.
Yeah.
But I have this new concoction here that I'm experimenting with, and this is a quarter pounder that's looked like it was sitting on the wheel for quite a while, because not a lot of people are coming to this 7-Eleven at this time of night. And on this thing I have onions, cheese, pickle relish, jalapenos, some
Pico?
pico de gallo,
Yeah.
and Texas Pete hot sauce.
Nice.
So I can't wait to take a little bite of this. Then I'm going to go back, maybe have a hamburger once I get home. Nightcap. So these big bites, they can be somewhat messy. I can barely get this thing up here. Let's see. Mmm. Mmm. That's a good hot dog. And you decided to go for the nachos.
Mm-hmm.
What's all on there? Looks pretty good.
Just cheese, onions, and pico?
Ah, no jalapenos, huh?
Mm-mm. Normally I would put chili on there, but they were out of it. So, but it's actually pretty good this way, because when you have the chili on there, you don't taste as much of the pico. The flavor gets kind of drowned out by the chili.
Right.
Now I'm noticing that without the chili on there, I actually taste the pico, and it tastes pretty good this way. So,
yeah, you know, I would have probably added chili to this concoction here as well.
I'm sure you would have.
Had it been available. But nonetheless, I got to introduce the obnoxious bite to the big bite. Now, I did not get a soda, but I do have the water bottle. And I figured I'd play it healthy tonight, have some water. This is the water bottle. Once again, the Area 51 water bottle. Now, this one is the expensive one. We've mentioned it before. It's double insulated. And it costs like $40 from these people, Liberty Bottle Works. But if you go on their site, they recently came up with a cheaper one. It's not like the double insulated like this. It's just like a regular water bottle, which I believe is much more affordable. Still the same cool design. It's Saturday night. It may look like I'm wearing the same clothes, but it is another night. And we're out on our way to Matthews, a place called Bohannon, I believe.
Yes.
And out there's this farmhouse. I don't want to say too much about the activity that's been going on, though, because we're going to try our method once again where I get some of the information from the person, the team does an initial walkthrough, and see what kind of vibes they get from the place. That way they're not biased at all. But we are actually spending the night there tonight.
Yeah.
We're going to set up our base station. We're going to be there for the entire night.
Or at least most of it.
So, so this makes it interesting, because if you go to a location for a couple hours, you may miss the activity. You may catch something. We've caught stuff before.
Right.
But if you're at the place all night, you have a better chance of seeing it. I always compare it to like a shooting star. Like if you go out in your yard for a couple hours, you may not see one. But if you lay there all night and look at the stars, there's a better chance that you're probably going to see a shooting star.
Right.
So it's the same thing with this activity. It may not be there when we get there. It may not be there when we leave. But maybe at some point in between, something may happen that we'll be able to catch. Just something we're going to try.
Right.
But before we get there, we're going to be making a stop at the best cookout this side of the York River. Well, maybe this side of the Rappahannock.
Yeah, it's the only cookout this side of the York River.
Right. So, hence it is the best, indeed. We're going to indulge in perhaps a cookout burger, maybe get that tray. What say you, Linda?
Yeah, I think that's going to have to happen, because we are going out to a place that is so far out there that there's really only one 7-Eleven nearby. It's a 12-minute drive away from our location, and that's going to be open 24/7. So nothing else is going to be open. That's pretty much it. So we're going to have to eat, maybe go to 7-Eleven, get some snacks, pray that they have decent coffee because we're going to need some coffee through the night. And so that's it.
Yeah, and that's one thing we have to do when we go out to places like this, where we're going to be all there all night or for an extended period of time, is find out, of course, what we need to take with us,
Right.
where the nearest 7-Eleven or convenience store is.
Yeah, preferably Sheets.
Yeah, but that's not happening around here.
No.
But, I wish it was.
I know.
That would be nice.
At the very least, a Wawa would be nice.
Yeah, Wawa
Yeah.
would be a good choice as well.
Yeah, but no, just 7-Eleven.
But we happened to, we were driving by the Walmart on the way up here, and we saw Tanya hanging out in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Tanya,
There she
what were you doing there at the Walmart?
Just hanging out, harassing people.
Yeah, so she was harassing some people. So we said, "Hey, Tanya, want to go on an investigation?" She's like, "Yeah, I already got my bag here." Coincidence.
Yeah. We said, you want to stay all night? And she's like, yeah, sure, she's up for it.
Yeah,
And then
she was going to stay in the Walmart parking lot all night anyway, so she
Yeah.
figured, why not come on the investigation?
Yeah, but then we said, hey, you want to come on the expedition for Expedition Slalakum to hunt for
Tanya.
Bigfoot?
Tanya, tell us your thoughts on the expedition.
I'm not staying outside. I'm not a camper. I like the luxury of a hotel.
And we're talking about, you got to watch out for the coyotes,
Yes.
The coyotes, the bears.
the bears.
The bears.
And these
yeah.
are all true things that you do have to watch out for. And then I brought up the fact that, people have been killed out there.
Right.
Along the Appalachian Trail and such.
Yeah, mountain
So-
lions and panthers. Supposedly there are black panthers out there. They've talked about those. And the scary thing about the black panthers is that if one starts chasing you, you have to strip down naked in order to get away from it. I know this because I read a book that was about Appalachian folklore, and they said that the scent of your body that gets onto your clothing, if you're trying to outrun a panther, you strip down, you take your clothes off and throw them behind you, because the panther will stop to smell the clothing. And that'll slow him down. So maybe you get a chance to get away somewhere where you can hide. Yeah,
that would be painful. Now, I have to ask, though.
Yes.
You mentioned the book was Appalachian folklore.
Right.
Is this perhaps folklore that you actually have to take off your clothes if the panther's chasing you? Or is
No,
that...
I think that's actually real stuff. The folklore part comes in because there's supposedly no Black Panthers in America. There were at one time in the Southwest, but they thought that they had become extinct. But for many years, even I'd venture to say a couple of centuries, the people of the Appalachians have been describing what they say is a Black Panther that is running around there. So it's likely that these things could have gone up into the mountains to, find a place to hide, just like Bigfoot did.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on. So, lions and panthers and serial killers.
Right.
Oh, my.
Oh my.
But we did come up with an official name for this, so you can follow it, and if it's something you like, of course.
Right.
It's going to be called Expedition Slalakum.
Yeah.
All right, which is an old Indian word, which you probably won't even find on the internet at this point in time. Maybe a couple references to it when they refer to these dark, mysterious creatures that were out in the woods. So it's going to be all-encompassing, and we're planning on looking for a little more than Bigfoot on various expeditions. But
Right.
the first one, our goal is Bigfoot. And the logo itself, it has some symbolism in it. It has Bigfoot holding a broken arrow. We'll flash that up later on or something. But this is because the broken arrow is a symbol of peace. So we wanted to put that in the logo for the series in case,
Right.
also if we have this logo anywhere, who knows? If Bigfoot sees it, he may be familiar with Native American symbolism.
Very much
And
so.
he may see that broken arrow and think, hey, maybe these guys are peaceful. Different
Right.
approach, not hunting Bigfoot, not killing Bigfoot.
No.
Just, hey, we're here in peace, and we don't have any ill intentions.
Yeah, hang out.
Right.
Come hang out with us.
Come and have a Kit Kat.
Yeah, come and have a kickback, or maybe a jar of peanut butter or some bacon.
And as of today, Hershey's is still not sponsoring us,
No,
but
no,
we're
we
working
haven't.
on it.
Yeah, we're working on it. Maybe Die Hard.
Yeah, that would be
I
good.
have to work on Die Hard.
They got ice. So here at the cookout, there's Kim. Kim, where'd you come from?
Down the street,
You
around the
just
corner.
Just happened to be down there.
Just happened to stop
That's
by,
cool.
saw you guys like, hey, there we go, let's stop.
Aaron,
Yes.
what are you doing here?
Hey, just going for some gas, grub, and ghosts.
Best answer I've heard yet.
Say about the ghost.
He said he's here for the gas, grub, and ghost.
Oh, okay.
We need to get shirts made that say that.
Yeah.
I'm here for the gas, grub, and ghost.
Yeah.
And then another one that says I'm here for the ice.
That's me.
Got that cookout tray with a cookout burger. A couple of nuggets on the side there. Some of this cookout buffalo sauce. Some of this other random sauce. Oh, Polynesian sauce.
Polynesian.
No, I didn't ask for it, but I'll try it.
Okay.
Aaron, what do you got down there? A couple of corn dogs.
Corn dogs, man. It's the only way to go.
Those things are pretty good. You want some mustard?
No, just
You know-
ketchup. Just
I got
ketchup.
this mustard because I usually get the corn dogs, but this time I
I know. It's-
yeah.
Mustard never was my forte, unless it's on a McDonald's hamburger.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's pretty good.
So.
So let's take a look at that cookout style burger. I like how they put that big slice of onion up on there.
They do a very big slice of onion, and then the bacon is all crinkly and like shriveled up, but it's really good. It's always well cooked.
That's cute.
Pretty
Nothing
good.
like chewy bacon.
I know.
It's just like,
What'd you get down there, Tanya? Some fries?
my usual fries.
How are they?
They're good. Nice.
Are they good? Good. Yeah, I like their fries here, I gotta say. So I'm gonna unveil this cookout style burger. This is the one that I tend to get. It's got a little bit of coleslaw on it. It's got a little bit of chili. It's got that big onion ring. Just a good burger. Now, unfortunately, you know, being that it's kind of a hot night, we're gonna be out for a long time, I gotta take it easy with this burger. Can't go all in. Just a little bite maybe, and just take it slow. Digest it a little better. You know, those big bites don't usually digest it well.
True.
So just a little.
Just a little one.
Sure. The damn hamburger.
I know.
That's a good burger.
Is it a good burger or a good burger?
Burger. So I'm going upstairs here in the house, and Cheryl's going to direct me to the room where there's been some activity.
Now,
Look at this place, it's amazing.
isn't it gorgeous?
This is, really.
She's gonna be beautiful again one day. All right, that's gonna be Tanner's bedroom,
Okay.
and I don't think anything's ever happened in that one. All right, you see that door that's closed?
The little one?
Yeah.
The, like right here, like right
Yes.
before I go into this room?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you open that door, that takes you to the 3rd floor.
That's where the room is?
No, but that's
Oh, okay.
a lot of stuff has happened up there.
Let me take a look up there if I can. Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. Wow.
So there's 3 rooms up there. Needs a lot of work. But now if you
Okay.
come down by the banister
I'll go up there later.
and head back towards me
Okay.
and go over top of the dining room, turn right at that door.
Okay. And
That's where a lot of stuff has happened. That's where the shadow was, or the figure with the lantern.
okay. All right, I got that.
And then across that other room.
Oh, wow. It's amazing how there's, you know, fireplaces in every room.
Yeah, but they're not real.
I mean, this was quite a place.
Yeah, they're fake from what I understand.
Oh, okay. They're not just closed up?
I don't know. Somebody said they were fake.
Yeah, because I imagine with the date of this house, they must have had, you know, that was their source of heat,
True.
you know, but a lot of them, huh?
Is my friend Sherry out there?
So we're setting up the
Yeah, you could
surveillance system out here.
with these.
Got the easy up set up. And the house is right here. Can't really see it. A little too dark. We'll light it up later on, but it's quite an amazing place. Very old farmhouse.
Purple Halloween lights. Son's photo on the wall, and we're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna leave that there, and we're gonna see if anything happens to the picture while we're here, because she says that tends to be a target often.
Thank you very much.
So use this camera, it's right there.
Sitting out here at the base station,
Yep.
and we have some of the equipment out here. Got the camera set up. Now, camera 1 here, we'll refer to it as because it's channel 1.
Right.
That's in the room upstairs where they see the man carrying an oil lantern. And they've seen him in the window, in the room, but his reflection in the window walking by, just a silhouette of a man carrying an oil lantern. The one below it, okay, channel 2, is actually on the hallway. You can see the light right here from this camera up top.
Oh.
Because that's looking into that room. So if this man walks in front of these windows here, walks out in the hallway in this area where they see him, we'll get him from both cameras. This one is way upstairs on the 3rd floor. If you come up the stairs and go to the right, it's looking down the hallway. Very unsettling area up there. This one down here is, we angled it, we put it in the living room and we angled it over at the kitchen because she was in this room right here, and that's when she saw this shadow, this silhouette of a man pop around that corner where Kyle's standing right there. And it was so definite that she thought it was either her daughter or her husband, and it was neither of them. She came out and they were actually out front on the front porch. So we're going to be sitting out here throughout the night monitoring this, and as soon as these baseline sweeps are done, what they're doing right now, we're probably going to hit it with a couple spirit box sessions, maybe an EVP session.
For a 7-Eleven run?
Maybe hit it with a 7-Eleven run. I don't know. See what happens.
That's done a 180. When we went up the steps, actually back that up, upstairs, the first level, as we were going from room to room, it was like chasing it. Again, the same kind of feeling of we were moving and it was moving with us. And I was getting stronger and stronger charge feelings. When we went up to the 3rd floor, it felt like there was somebody behind the entire time that was just pushing us up and pushing us up. Tanya kept slowing down. I was like, no, don't stop. Just keep going, keep going. Upstairs, again, we got the really strong, lots of strong feelings. And Tanya has a verbal thing, and it kept saying red. Well, I had my red light on at the time. And
then when we were all in that small upstairs room to the left,
together.
It said together.
First
it said red, and the light and all the spikes were red, and then it said together. And we said yes, we're all together.
And then on the way down, it was like it was just pushing, get down, get down, get down, get down. And it wasn't just from the 3rd floor. The 3rd floor, it chased us all the way down out.
Yep.
So,
so down
it
the
was,
south, down
and the last word
stairs
was sacred.
Yeah, it was like, just get the hell out.
Wow.
And I very seldom get that paranoid kind of feeling.
Yeah.
But that's the strongest sensation I have ever had of, you're not, get out now. Yeah. I don't want you here, and I'm going to push and push and push.
All right, so Kyle is setting up the Wonder Box once again for a spirit box session up here.
That's probably Kim. Sounds like her boots.
I hope so.
Yeah, that's Kim.
And I do have to say, this is an awesome location, this house, is it not?
It is. It really is. You can just feel the age in the home. I mean, it's obvious that the place has been updated. It has, modern electrical work, modern plumbing and everything, but you can just you feel the age in this house when you walk in. And, Kim? Was that not Kim?
That wasn't Kim. The footsteps stopped, and they were right here. They went up all.
Hey, Kim! Hey, Kim! Were you just walking upstairs?
Hold on. I can't quite hear what you're saying.
Is she downstairs or upstairs?
What was that?
Were you just walking upstairs?
Yeah, I just came back down.
Okay.
Just now.
Yeah, that was her. Now, nobody lived in this house for the past 9 years.
Right.
It's been vacant. Yeah.
I remember you saying that it was vacant for a long time, which kind of gives the spirits even more of a feeling like this is their home and like nobody else is here with them. They don't have to vie for the space. So that may be a reason why with somebody moving into the house, it now that they're trying to kind of push back a little bit more, perhaps show themselves, maybe even try to scare the customers or scare the clients out of the house. And it could be the reason why they sort of pushed Kim and Tanya down the stairs. So, you know, who knows? It might take a while for things to settle in once the clients get moved in. If you make the squealing stop, we can ask you questions, and if the answer is yes, then you make it squeal. If the answer is no, then you leave it alone and don't make it squeal, okay? Are you a boy? If you're a boy, make that thing squeal. Very good. Okay, make it stop. Make it stop, and I'll ask you another question.
Ask a confirmation question if she's a girl.
Are you a girl? If you're a girl, make it squeal. If you're not a girl, then make it stay silent.
So you're a boy?
Okay, let's figure out your age. Are you under 5 years old? Are you less than 5 years old? If you are, then make that thing squeal. See, I'm getting an age like maybe 6 or 7.
Yeah, I was thinking 7.
Are you between the ages of 6 and 10? Are you somewhere either 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10?
To your left, you're getting a bunch of orbs. I mean, there's 50, 60 there right now.
Good. All right, so we know you're between 6 and 10.
Copy.
Oh.
Very good.
Oh.
All right.
Not 100% sure on that one. Let me just check something.
Yeah, that's probably your walk.
Copy.
Yep.
Yeah, that was the radio.
All right, make it stop and I'll ask another question. Good. Are you 7? Are you...
Shine your light on it for me so I can see. So, Linda, you just went out to 7-Eleven.
I did, and I got these. These are another variety of wrap snacks. They have quite a few different varieties. Some of them are chips, some are popcorn, but the wrap snacks have a lot of flavor to them. Like sometimes you get these bags of chips and you find you pull out one chip and it has no flavor to it. It just tastes like potato. And then the next one you pull out has a whole crap load of flavor on it. These are not like that. The flavor is very evenly distributed in a very satisfying way throughout the whole bag of chips. And then the flavors that they have are kind of unique. Like this one is one of the less unique ones. It's cheddar barbecue. But I mean, some of these are like amazing. Like you got to think like, how did they put those flavors together like that? But like these are the best things if you're, you know, hanging out like in an investigation, drinking some Jack and Coke on a Friday night on the porch. These things are right, they're exactly what you need. And we go and get every bag that we can possibly find.
Linda, did you ever think about going into commercial advertising?
Got your sponsorship somewhere.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And well,
Jack is good too with the splash of Coke.
Sorry, dude.
it's interesting too, though, that you find these at 7-Elevens in the middle of nowhere. Have the most variety of wrap snacks.
Yeah, Hudgens, Virginia is where we got these.
Hudgens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most of the 7-Elevens have them. From what I've heard, Spencer's has them. I've made it a point lately in my adult life not to go into Spencer's because it's kind of scary in there. But, you know, for the most part, like, you know, supposedly they have a bunch of them. And, yeah, this is a variety that I think we only had once before. But they're amazing. They've got a little bit of a twang to them, a little kick. But very, very good, worth it.
That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the one place that you will hear the word twang and rap used in the same sentence.
And ratchet.
Oh yeah, by the way, what was that said ratchet? Your app that you were using?
No, it really said rasp. I thought it said ratchet. Maybe it
Oh.
was that smell we got when we were in there.
A ratchet smell.
A ratchet smell.
So at this point we have Aaron, Kim. Hey, that's interesting. Motion just came on that
Sure did.
camera in the top right there.
Mm-hmm. I didn't really see anything.
I didn't see anything either. But we have Aaron, Kim, and Tanya down in the dining room with the lights out. And they have a couple of different devices going. They were getting some readings on the K2 meter. And we thought maybe it was because it was over the screws on the table. So we moved it out towards the middle of the table. They moved all the other electronics away from it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still getting a spike, which is pretty interesting. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think it's definitely an interesting place. I mean, everything that we've taken in there as far as the REM pod and the, you know, K2 meter, and I mean, everything seems to be very responsive. So that would lead me to believe that perhaps there's going to be a lot of audio or a lot of evidence that comes through in form of audio when we go to actually analyze it. So kind of excited to see what we may have caught and see if, you know, some of the feelings or some of the ideas that we have about this place are actually true. Who this guy might be that carries around an oil lamp. You know, it's all pretty interesting.
Yeah, one other thing she mentioned before we left, you can't really see it, but there's a flashlight around here.
Yeah, I think I think my flashlight's right over here.
There's some trucks and other vehicles parked around the outskirts of the property here. And these lights will come on by themselves, according to the client.
Yeah, the headlights, right?
The headlights will come on. And then in the house itself, they'll see people driving by will see every light in this house on, even when it was vacant. It was vacant for like 9 years. And they'd see all the lights on.
Linda?
Aaron?
And we heard that there was a lady who used to stay in this room who was locked in here.
Hey, Bo.
Is she here with us right now? Is she still in this house?
Madeline. I just wanted to tell you I'm very sorry the way you were treated.
Madeline, how long were you in this room for? How long did they keep you in here? Madeline, before we got here, what was the last thing you remember? Madeline, we saw these marks on the door here where the lock was. Who was it Who was it that used to lock this door?
That's a female.
Who was it that put this lock on the door? What did you do while you were locked in this room?
Can you say one of our names?
So we wrapped up our investigation, and it's, what time is it?
Oh, geez, it's like 7. My phone died, so I can't tell, but it's after 7.
It is, yeah, I believe it's after 7 in the morning.
It is.
And I have to say, this place, you can see it behind us here. Where are you at, Linda? Other side here.
Oh, yeah, it's beautiful.
It is beautiful. It really is, especially with the sun coming up.
Yes.
It's very nice. We got these fields all around us here
Mist over the
that have the
fields.
mists over the fields.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a cool location. It was definitely eerie at night.
Oh, yeah.
One of the more eerie locations that I've been to. The setting could have had a lot to do with that.
Right.
When you're walking through this house that sat vacant for 9 years, it has that somewhat abandoned feel to it.
It
Hasn't
does.
been lived in some time.
Yeah.
It needs a little bit of work before the people probably actually do move in. They're planning on doing that pretty soon. So it's great that they're going to restore this place. That dates back probably well before the early 1900s.
Oh, yeah.
They even believe, they told us an interesting thing, there was a brick up in the attic. And they told us that they believed the slave quarters was in the attic.
Right.
And it was actually one of the gentlemen who was here, his grandfather told him, he said, look in the attic, I'll bet there's a brick up there. Because what they used to do is they would put the brick at the bottom of the stairs against the door, so they would know when someone was coming. The brick would fall and alert them.
Right.
So, sure enough, there was a brick up there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
A very old brick.
Yeah.
Very old brick.
And I'll tell you what, like at night, when I was walking through here, it's not something you would want to do alone.
No.
It's really not.
No, certainly not.
But during the day when I went in to break down the cameras, I had no problem. You know, it was a perfectly different feel.
Yeah.
So maybe there is something to be said. Could it be just the setting?
Right.
The nighttime setting?
No.
Makes it more eerie?
Yeah.
But there was definitely some things that seemed to come through more frequently while we were in there at night.
Yeah.
And there's Kim. But we're going to get back on the road, and I don't know if we're going to stop to eat or not.
No, I think we're just going home.
Possibly.
Crawling into bed.
Possibly. This will be on an episode of Virginia Paranormal Case Files.
Yes.
In its entirety, the investigation, along with an evidence review. The one from last night probably will not, but we will get back to you if we find any interesting evidence from what we found from last night's investigation. So we stopped at Hardee's for some breakfast, and I got the pork chop and gravy biscuit. Doesn't look quite like it does on the sign there, but you can see there's some. Yeah, not quite. I can't really take the biscuit off to show you because it's breaking, but there's some gravy on the top. So this is gonna be good. Light breakfast after a long night of investigating. Now what you got looks really good, really cheesy.
It does. It's smoked sausage, egg, and cheese.
Oh man, anything that's smoked is good.
I know. That's the word smoked in there is actually what drew me.
Yeah.
I had to have it after that.
That's why I like Gouda so much, because it's always like
It's always
smoked
smoked
Gouda.
Gouda. Yep, that's right.